Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Lost Odyssey. I am the mysterious JG. Did I accidentally? No, I didn't accidentally close my window that I needed to open. I thought I might have done that for a second. I've got a slightly weird setup going between the glasses and the distance vision and the medium vision and trying to read a fact and trying to sit comfortably and brr to brr. It's just challenging times. So, where the hell was I in this fact? Because last time I feel like we've got about 2 videos, maybe more like 1.5 videos of wandering around, exploring stuff in town, trying to make sure we get every single potion. It's really just a matter of not wanting to miss the seeds, and it's just faster to go through and grab everything. So I want to say alarm clock. I don't think we got. But man, there's a lot of shit to do in this sound because I scrolled ahead farther than I realized I had to see when we get our next playable character. Because it's fairly soon in story terms, not soon in terms of stuff we're trying to do here. But I guess the thing I should do is check how many key seeds we've got. That might be a good hint as to where we're at. We got 14 and we gave away 20 recently, so 34. Okay. Yeah, we came back and got a reward. Okay, now I know where we're at. We're gonna climb the ladder, send another. Okay, well maybe I don't quite know where we're at. We got a dog to return to its owner. Are they still over here somewhere? I thought we got the dog to return to its owner. Maybe they both disappeared from our reality when we did that. At least I know that we are heading over in this general direction. And the little cat girl should be playing hide and seek around now. There's that building there, which we're getting directed to later. So for now, I guess we came in here and we found this dorg. And I guess we didn't climb here. Because if we did, we missed a seed and I'm nervous about it. That does feel like we came up here. Can we cross that treasure chest, or is it is secretly hidden away? So we did get this. Okay, now I'm a little uneasy about having missed a seed. But I can't imagine I got to the end of a... Because we opened that chest, so... How many seeds are we showing? 27? 14. Oh, slot seed. Never mind. We're fine. Return to the previous alley. Go west to find another alley. Man, there's a lot of alleys in this city. It's the city of 1,000 alleys. This is one of those, like... You could see yourself living in a fantasy city like this more than you could see yourself living in, say... some of the fantasy cities of Final Fantasy VII, which are shitholes. So anyway, we come to where we were, and we're going to... Hold on. Return to the previous alley, go west to find another alley. In it, you'll see 2 blue carpets. Okay. Ah, this is where they're talking about. Wait, are there 2 blue carpets here? Yes, I guess. Alright. Blue carpet. This has got to be exciting to watch here. Just, I'm standing around looking bored with this idle animation as I read, but, Examine the plant for a key seed. At least I know I'm in the right place if this is a key seed. It is. Enter the nearby door. Note that you can only enter this door if you agree to play with Choo Choo and hide and seek. Oh. I wonder... Huh. Okay, apparently we couldn't enter this door if we hadn't played hide and seek with her because... I guess we... I wonder what would have happened. It would just be locked. Ah, you found me. I thought for sure you'd never get me here, but because you played hide and seek with me, you can access my hiding place? How the heck did you get in here? It was locked, wasn't it? Hee hee, well... Well, hello there. Do you have the new key for me? Yep, my dad's busy, so I brought it over for him. Here you go. Phew, thank you. My old key was broken, so I couldn't open the door anymore. I was told remaking it would take days. Your father's an exceptionally skilled man, though. He did the job in a fraction of the time. That's what happens when you give the job to someone who is a human married to a cat. I was going to say cat, but he's not. Because then he would have paws and probably have a hard time making keys. Where's your payment? Say thanks to your father for me, will you? The guy who runs the shop is my dad's best friend, so he asked him to repair his broken key. Yeah, you know what? My best friend, I often ask him to do things that are outside of his skill set and expect him to do them because he's my friend. So he snuck in with that key? That's not really fair at all, you know. Hey, it is too fair. Oh, here, this is what the shopkeeper gave me. My dad has a ton of these, so you can have them. My dad does not require payment for his work if I am pleased by someone's hide-and-seek prowess. Mana earrings obtained. My dad's got lots of earrings. Bye-bye, let's play again real soon. And she disappears. Can I help you with something? If you'd like to purchase something, just go to that counter over there. Do not break into my home from behind. Mana earrings, eh? Pretty sure we already had those. No, never mind. Wait a second. Max MP up 1. It can't be you increase MP by 1. It must be like there are multiple levels of max MP increase you can get, and this is the lowest level one. Yeah, I was about to say, we already have one of those. And I was like, no, of course not. All treasure chests are, in this game so far, seem to be things you can't find any other way except this one way. I mean, they're still learning things from those, so... His MP does go up from equipping it, though. And I don't think novice earrings do anything for him. We might as well give this to him. Although turntail shoes are handy to have on somebody, but... he doesn't get any MP out of it. He just increases his max. Okay. Alright, never mind. We got all this screen here. Take the north exit. It didn't even tell me to talk to these people. This is Nalia's item shop. Yeah, it didn't even tell me to talk to them. It said take the north exit. So I wonder if I was supposed to figure this out on my own. That I should chat with them. We got a new product in today. The customers all love how beautiful it is. I wanted to keep one for myself, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to. That was an interesting read. We've obtained a wind bomb. Oh, I guess it wants me to come back in here after I've done something else, but now I'm getting a seed. Okay, well, I know where I am in the FAQ again, but for some reason it didn't tell me to do this yet. I gotta find Gale Wing times 5. Somewhere around here is 100, gold, which I got. Okay. Yeah, basically I was told to come here, do something, and then come back, and Draki, the Split Infinity dork, only has me dealing with that room after I've come out here and done this real quick first. So can I chat with you? This is strange. It's supposed to be my girl here, but she's nowhere to be seen. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, we in fact encountered him earlier, or his girl earlier, upset that he didn't show up for the gondola ride that they were supposed to be going on together. Oh, I have to talk to him twice. It was a trick. Oh, my girlfriend's waiting another stop. Oh, crap, I did it again. Thanks a lot. I better go check. Gotta go check quick. Wait, what? You want me to get that box for you? Yeah, I'm sure. It won't be much trouble. Pretty shrewd of you guys. Oh, we never get to actually travel there. Thanks to me off. Hope she isn't too mad at me. Okay. There's Final Fantasy VIII reminds me. Like, this reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII, excuse me. Like, peaceful music playing at timbre. While I, on my first playthrough, was always worried about missing. Like, I had to talk to everybody 8 times. Because I was always worried about missing little stuff like this. And it being important. Because, like, timber maniacs. And, like, there's a whole scene where Squall is, like, making a point of internal monologue about how bored he is listening to some old geezer talk. And going around and talking to people in different buildings. And, like, just, there's something very weird, but, like, would this be 90s or aughts? Like, PS1 RPG about this game, even though this is Xbox 360 would be the equivalent of a PS3. But there's something very PS1 RPG about just wandering around, and you got to talk to 8 people in the proper sequence and help the guy find the ticket that he lost when the girl bumped into him, but then she went to the barbershop. And, like, you get an item which is not that important out of it. But if you didn't do it, you didn't feel like you experienced all the content in the game. Anyway, that's the level 3 magic shine. Rather, level 3 magic shine. Which is surely available to be purchased somewhere. Inflicts small light damage and blind on all enemies. Interesting. Probably never works, but okay. When we do that, we can... Now I'm curious to see, is this guy actually going to leave and go visit his girl now? Yeah. What do you know? So when we get back there, the two of them will probably be together, and we'll feel like we helped to advance their little love story. Alright, exit outside. But the charming music and the fact that the place actually looks pleasant is part of why, in my JRPG fan self, this does feel like it would be a fun place to live as part of being a character in a JRPG. Gondola lover necklace. When I was younger, we would use gondolas to get around. We got by with nature, not magic power. People are still using gondolas, and I didn't mean to trigger a scene here. Oh, I think I just triggered a memory. Shit. Thank you. Now the loading's all taken care of. But are you sure this is okay? Won't the captain yell at you if he finds out how much you helped me? Don't worry about it. This sort of thing we can handle in a flash. Yeah, think of it as payback for all the hot lunches you've made us. If you need any more help, just give us a call. Also, I'd like to buy your hot lunch. Kaim recalls a memory that was locked away deep within his heart. And JG is like, oh crap, I didn't realize I was triggering a memory right now. Although that is what I was supposed to do next. So it's fine. Hopefully this is a memory of people being nice to each other and helping each other, and dream has been revealed. Dream of the Red Chamber. Wondering the other night if Dream of the Red Chamber is made up of chapters who have, like, 2 names each, but I don't know. Letters from a Weakling.
Once there was a woman who came from a foreign land to marry into an old family. Her husband was from a tiny village in the mountains, but he was working in a thriving harbor town abroad when he met and fell in love with her. At the time he asked her to marry him, his father in his home country had collapsed and died. Being the eldest son in his family, the young man had no choice but to return to his homeland, taking her with him, of course. Her name was Mina. This was not a name that was used by the women of his homeland. Indeed, her name was not the only thing about her that was different. The color of her skin, hair, and eyes, and the language she spoke were all different. Had the young man's hometown been a harbor city where people of many different lands crossed paths, there would have been nothing unusual about this. In such places, there were any number of homes that welcomed foreign men and women into the family, generation after generation. Sadly, he had moved to
Pick whichever place you think of as being bigoted and just insert it here.
But this is about as deep in the country as you can get, the young man told Kime, sighing, on the night he made Mina his wife. Kime had rushed here all the way from the...
Why was Kime hanging around with this guy on his wedding night? Was Kime working as a staff member at the motel on the highway? Kime had rushed here all the way from the harbor town to the far country to attend the wedding.
At the banquet, the young man had given Kime a look, and the two had slipped away from the festivities. They were standing in the garden, looking up at the night sky. He gave him a look, saying, "Kime, this will be the last time that our gay love can express itself before I am forced to live a heterosexual life."
Sorry, just joking around.
When the eldest son marries, his wishes are of no importance. What matters is family. The two families negotiate the engagement, and a bride is chosen who is acceptable to the groom's parents. That's how it was with my parents, and my parents did the same.
I know what you mean,
Kime said with a nod. Judging from the formal wedding ceremony, it was easy to imagine the highly conservative nature of the area, and just as easy to imagine that the relatives had not welcomed Myrna into the family.
"Alex,"
Kime said to the young man.
"Yes,"
the young man answered, still looking up at the sky.
"You are the only one who can protect Mina, you know."
"I know that much, Kime."
"Mina is a wonderful girl."
"I know that too, of course." The three were good friends. That's why their names were flying around for some reason earlier. Kime and Alex had worked together offloading ships at the same pier, and also they had often gone to the neighborhood where Mina worked in the outdoor stall. Even now, Kime retains the bittersweet memory of Alex and Mina struggling to communicate in each other's languages.
"You know, Kime,"
Alex said that night under the sky,
"I think you sensed it too, but Mina was drawn less to me than to..."
Kime cut him short.
"Never mind,"
he said with a pained smile. Of course, Kime knew how Mina meant. Who could resist the awesome sex bomb who was Kime? And if he had responded to her feelings, she and Alex would not have been married here today. Their unhappy marriage, where she was constantly abused by his racist Sasto family, was Kime's fault. And yet, he could not help that he was the sexiest man ever born in his own memories. But Kime had held back. Instead, he had urged Alex to pursue his love for Mina and help the two come face to face. He felt no regrets about having played the part of an unlikely Cupid for them, because we have Cupid in our culture. Destined to continue his never-ending journey, Kime was unable to love Mina in return. He didn't want to have little flat-chested babies with her who would die. One of Alex's uncles stepped out of the house, drunk.
"Hey, Alex, what are you doing out here?" he growled. "The groom can't be absent from the reception."
"Sure, I'll be right there," Alex said, turning towards his uncle. Kime tapped him on the shoulder.
"Make Mina happy, Alex."
"Leave it to me," he answered.
Leave it to me,"
he answered with a smile.
"Come on,"
said the uncle.
"Hurry up. The groom's supposed to sit there the whole time. The entire family's here, and we're gonna drink it away."
He grabbed Alex's hand and dragged him back into the house. The man was all smiles with Alex, but when he glanced at Kime, his borderline polite smile could not disguise the gleam of distrust in his eyes for an outsider, like Scott Hall or Kevin Nash. Kime was sure he had noticed the same gleam, though, perhaps not as openly displayed in eyes that had lighted on Mina. So that was the kind of village to which Mina had come as a bride.
You better make her happy, Alex,
Kime called out again towards his friend's receding form.
or I'll kill you. Or I'm counting on you.
But now the uncle had his arm around Alex's shoulder, and he was noisily monopolizing his nephew's attention. Alex had never heard those words from Kime. Otherwise, he would have known his life was in danger if he didn't stand up to his racist asshole family. Yeah, remember how I was thinking, hey, this will be a happy memory about people who help each other? And nope. It was 3 months later when Alex came to visit Kime at work on the pier.
Sorry, I'm in town on a buying trip, so I thought I'd stop to say hello,
Alex announced. But judging from the fatigue evident on his friend's face, Kime had a pretty good idea of his real reason for coming here. As casually as possible, Kime asked,
How is Mina doing? I'm trying to be casual, but I can't hide my deep personal interest and passion about this question.
With a feeble smile, Alex replied, After the wedding, things happened. Mina had been accepted neither as a member of the family nor as a resident of the village. There were too many differences in daily customs, in culture. She put her butter on top of the toast, and they put theirs on the bottom of the toast. But that doesn't even make sense. She's clearly right on that one. But the one thing that made Mina too different was for the tiny village was the brown color of her skin.
Oh, well, thanks for specifying. I mean, you hold out some hope that, like, both of them had fantasy colors, but no. No. I don't know why the story would make me more comfortable if, like, she was white and was being, picked on by people who weren't white, but, yeah, actually, no, that would have got me off. I would have been like, I would have used that as an excuse for all sorts of terrible thoughts. Be like, oh, yeah, well, sometimes people are mean to white people, so we can do whatever we want. Like in this fantasy game, for example. Sorry.
If only she could speak with people. Mina is trying her best to learn our language, but my mother and other relatives make no attempt to learn hers. Not so much as a good morning or thank you. They insist it's up to
the daughter-in-law to do all the adapting. Don't let the story draw your thought. Like, yeah, that's a rough situation to be in. But if she's moving into their town, I think them trying to learn her language would be a lovely gesture, wouldn't it? She probably has to, yeah.
Still, Mina was working hard to draw closer to Alex's family and birthplace. She would be the first one out in the fields in the morning, work without a break until the sun went down, and do sewing until late at night. She would try to talk to people in the local dialect Alex had taught her, using gestures and body language, using lots of drawl. She would spit chaw, and she would apologize profusely with abject smiles whenever she failed to understand what they were saying. Kime could easily imagine Mina going through these exertions, which made Alex's report all the more painful to him.
You should come to visit us now and then, Kime. Mina would love to see you, too.
Kime responded vaguely with a silent nod. When Alex added,
I want you to come and cheer her up,
he said nothing in reply.
What's wrong, Kime? Are you angry? I'm not going to visit. Why not? You promised me you'd make her happy, remember? Greed agreed that you're the only one who can do that. But still. Sorry, I haven't got time for this. I have to get this ship loaded before it sails at sunset. That is why I'm being an asshole. Yeah, like, Kime, you're not really doing your part to help here, buddy. I don't know. I was trying to slip in a joke about ice, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I was in a good mood when I started playing this game today. I'm going to try to stay in a good mood. Talking about ice is not going to help.
With this curt dismissal, Kime turned away and continued working. Alex stared at him from behind, looking frustrated and confused. Kime could feel his friend's gaze on his back. Because he could feel it, he kept working without another backward glance. Eventually, Alex gave up and left. Neither man spoke words of farewell. The end? Maybe we learned that eventually Mina's family eased off a bit. A year after the wedding, Mina gave birth to a son. The boy had brown skin like his mother.
Well, That's her fault. She should have eaten the white skin foods.
He had just started crawling when Alex visited Kime again. There was talk of a divorce, Alex said.
There was talk of gerbils. There's nothing wrong with our relationship. Mine and I love each other, that's for certain. But my mother and the relatives say there is no way they can accept a brown-skinned child as the family heir. His existence supposedly harms the marriage prospects of my younger brother and sister, too. So they want us to send the baby to Mina's family. It's gone that far.
Well, why don't you tell them to go fuck themselves and move back to the city where you met, where you were both happy?
I mean, easy for me to say, but it's a fantasy world where they have not given us whatever. Lost Odyssey. I'm just trying to play a JRPG here.
Like, if this was a major theme in the game that affected characters we care about, it would be fine. But it's... Even Kime doesn't seem to give a shit. And if he doesn't care, why do I care about the people from his flashback to we don't know how long ago?
Alex had lost
a great deal of weight. He was obviously living with much pain every day, trapped as he was between family and Mina. None of this made sense to Kime. However trapped Alex might be, as long as he was firm on what was important to him, there could be only one answer to his family's demands, and he should be able to arrive at it without anguish or confusion.
I know how strong you are. I know how strong you are, Alex sighed,
speaking to Kime's back as Kime went on hoisting huge spine-snapping crates in silence. The longshoremen here were well paid for their handling crates on their own, loads that it would take 3 ordinary men to lift. The daily wage was calculated by the number of loads each man lifted, so asking for help would result in a pay cut. For this reason, Kime and the others never complained or asked for help. They would lift even the heaviest loads by themselves. They were often crippled in this work. But the man just kept grinding them harder, because a man who was injured on the job didn't have to be paid at all. And if you died on the job, you would find the wives and children of the dead worker. Alex had been like that too. If someone nearby had asked him,
"You gonna be okay with that?"
he would be all the more determined to do it on his own. Fine, fine, he would smile, and gritting his teeth, he would lift a giant load.
Big loads got to more.
But Alex is not like that anymore.
I'm starting to think that maybe in the long run, tying Mina down to a life in my village is just going to make her unhappy. My relatives say they'll support Mina and the baby, so it's not as if I'd be abandoning her or chasing her away. It's just that for both our sakes, starting a new life.
Having finished piling crates on deck, Kime turned towards Alex for the first time. He was looking down at Alex on the pier.
And you're all right with that?
Huh?
If you're convinced it's the right thing, then go ahead and do it. It's not for me to interfere. I'm basically like Squall, but I don't have Renoa to be insufferable and darling to the point where I become somewhat likable.
Alex's features distorted under the impact of Kime's word. Kime said nothing more, but went back to work. His anger and frustration were reaching the boiling point. Alex had no idea that Mina had been writing to Kime on occasion since shortly after the wedding, about the hardship she had been facing in the home of her husband's family. She said not a word. Wait, letters from a weakling, so Mina's the weakling? For not standing up for herself, maybe? Instead, she would spell out how happy her current life was and declare repeatedly how much Alex loved her. Oh, crap.
I guess she's weak for not facing reality.
Always the letters end with like this.
I'm sure you too must be living happily, Kime. I am Mina. I probably shouldn't have been given this voice. Oh boy, JG, can you pull it back? Is it too late? Yeah, that was probably not the best voice.
This was why Alex's reports of the situation at home had filled him with such intense anger and frustration. He had never answered Mina's letters, because he doesn't care and he wants them to leave him alone. He felt certain that if he were to write to her, whether with words of encouragement or comfort, or even playing along with her sad lies, something important that gave her spiritual support would snap into...
Oh, if responding to her cries for help would snap her into... Okay, so yeah, it is best to ignore her. I guess what maybe they're getting at is that she's writing to Kime as a way to lie to herself that everything was great. That if you responded and agreed with her lies, that it would be feeding her delusion. If he responded and offered her support, it would undermine her delusions. And either way, he's not the point. It's having an outlet.
Come see the baby, Kime, Alex pleaded.
Come see the baby, Kime, Alex pleaded.
Mina would be thrilled if you do that. Instead of responding to Alex, Kime called out to him from on deck.
See that crate over there? Can you lift it?
The crate near Alex was of the same size and weight as the one that Kime had just loaded onto the ship. In the old days, Alex would not have hesitated to carry it up to the ship, every muscle in his body shuddering and reflecting light. A sexy monument to masculine energy. Now, however, Alex gave Kime one timid glance and, smiling at his embarrassment, said,
Not me.
"Oh, I see. Failing to stand up to your body causes muscles to atrophy." Kime said nothing more. He felt strongly that their long friendship had come to an end, though in fact for Kime, whose whole life would go through all eternity, it had been nothing more than a momentary acquaintance. So the misery of this guy and his wife really is of no consequence. Kime has been on his endless journey ever since. Oh, this is what caused him to start journeying. Before this, he'd been... Now and then he thinks back to those bygone days. Both Alex and Mina long ago came to dwell among his distant memories, the kind of memories that revive with deep sense of bitterness, and they are there to this day. So do we get to find out what happened to these people, or does it not matter? I guess we find out. Alex made his third trip to see Kime a year after the baby was born, having wasted away to a mere shadow of his former self. God! Alex stared vacantly at Kime, and his voice lacked all intonation as he announced Mina's death. She had killed herself. Fuck you! Fuck you, Lost Odyssey. Hanged herself in the barn! Kime was amazed at his own detachment as he took in Alex's words. Even Kime was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Is my heart completely dead? Mina's letters, which span in for some reason, had stopped coming several months earlier. Either she no longer needed to spin those sad little lies about being accepted by Alex's family in the townsfolk, or she had lost the strength to invent them anymore. In effect, it was the latter. Kime was learning now. To the very end, she could not make anyone accept her, my mother, my family, or the town. Alex said tearfully. She was all alone, finally, to the very end. Without a word, Kime punched Alex in the face, accepting no part or responsibility in this. I mean, he wasn't responsible, but he was given many opportunities to help and took none of them. Alex seemed to know and accept the fact that the punch would be coming. He did nothing to resist or defend himself. This made Kime even angrier, and he punched harder, thinking, why won't you stand up for yourself? God damn you. Kime accidentally beat Alex to death that day. Angered at himself, he figured the only answer now was to go find and kill the baby so it would not be raised as an orphan. The end. The fist hit him full on and sent him sprawling on the road. If you're listening while watching something else, everything up to the point where I made Kime go murder the baby is in fact in the story. No, sorry. Kime doesn't beat Alex to death either. Okay, so everything else is me reading the story, though. Poor Tao. Tao doesn't deserve to be the narrator for this. Why? Kime demanded to know. Why did you say she was all alone? And when Alex righted himself, he smashed him in the face again. Alex began coughing violently and uncontrollably, and when he spat up a glob of blood, a broken tooth came back out with it. Kime knew well enough that Alex had been suffering too, that he had been engaged in a desperate struggle to do something about being trapped between family and wife. Otherwise, he never would have wasted away so dramatically from the brawny young man he used to be. And then it turns out he also had bone cancer. Did I forget to mention that part? As well as he knew this, however, Kime could not forgive him. He had promised, he had given his word, he would make Mina happy, he would protect her. Kime could never forgive Alex for failing to make good on his oath. Wiping the blood from his mouth with the back of his hand, Alex dragged himself to his feet. I know how strong you are, he said to Kime as he had once before, but this time the words took on a far sadder tone. But let me tell you this, Kime, in my sad voice, my mother and my relatives and the others, their way of looking at things is not completely crazy. To live in peace and quiet in the country, you have to follow the country's special rules. It just so happens that one of those rules was not to accept a bride like Mina. I was born and raised in that village, and I know the village code, know it all too well, which is why I've been in such pain all these months. I'm a weakling, I suppose, in your eyes. I'm probably so weak you want to spit on me, so laugh at me, hit me, size me if you want to. Come on, hit me again. Alex thrust his face at Kime for more punishment, and Kime threw another punch. this one landed squarely on his nose and may have broken it. It was hard to know, though, because Alex was already dead. Alex crumpled to his knees. The blood that gushed from his nose was blacker than the blood from his mouth. Alex looked up at Kime with a smile of self-derision. Mina should have been with you, that's what I think. She married you and not some weakling like me, she'd still be alive. Of course, she'd probably have given birth to a baby and they both would have died in an earthquake. But you're the real victim, Mr. Immortal. Boo-hoo. With the wordless, strangled cry of rage, Kime lunged at Alex, grabbing him by the collar and hoisting him to his feet. Oh, please tell me Kime does murder this guy. That's the story that I want now. And then he goes down the baby and raises the baby to be a mercenary who eventually talks too much during a mission and is killed. Well, not killed. No, that mercenary who talked too much was Kime helped him get out safely. But I want to find out that was the baby of Alex and Mina. Another punch, and still another. Kime was not planning to stop punching Alex. Now, though, with Kime's hand still fastened to the front of his shirt, Alex looked straight at Kime for the first time since coming to the dock. Why didn't you ever answer Mina's letters? That's all she was hoping for. A letter from you. So he knew. Alex knew everything. Alex knew that Kime was actually taking his own guilt out on Alex, because everybody in this story fucked up. It's terrible out there in the country. Anybody who wants to can find out who wrote letters and who got them. Everybody out there is like family. Everybody Mina, that is. They found out that she was a Democrat. If Alex had wanted to, he could have quashed Mina's letters easily. Then not one of her sad little lies would have reached Kime. But instead, Alex had read the letters, resealed the envelopes, and sent them to Kime one after another. At least, I guess that's what he tells Kime, because otherwise Kime is figuring this out. He had internalized Mina's sad little lies and started looking for Kime's answers even before she did. Kime stopped his fist in midair and asked, "How could I have possibly answered her?" "Why not?" Alex retorted. "You knew how trapped she was feeling. You must have known how much encouragement one word from you could have given her." "But you were Mina's husband." "Yes, that's true. But you were always the one deepest in her heart. I knew that, and because I knew it, there was only one thing I could do." "No, that couldn't be." Astounded, Kime lowered his fist as Alex said to him, "I wrote to her. I pretended I was you, and I wrote her letter after letter. Be strong, I told her. Keep your spirits up. I'll come to see you soon. You're too strong, Kime, so you can't understand the feelings of weak people. But I don't have that problem. I'm weak. Understand how a weakling like Mina felt." Alex cried, the blood streaming from his nose and mouth. This one could have been a nice story. He sees these people acting happy and being nice and on a dock. And he could have remembered the fun time he had once on a dock. "There is one thing I don't know, though, Kime. I don't know whether Mina actually believed that the letters I wrote were from you, or whether she knew what I was doing and pretended to believe. Let's make this more convoluted. I wonder, was life in my village so painful to her that she couldn't go on living there without pretending to believe?" "Well, yes, obviously, because she fucking killed herself." Kime made no attempt to answer Alex's question. Losing the will to live is a desperately important fictional thing. Slowly, he let the strength go out of his clenched fist and released his grip on Alex's shirt. Kime then died. The new Kime is like some kind of reincarnation. Alex drew a step back from him, then took another step, putting distance between them before his final revelation. "By the way, Jack, I'm the one who killed your parents. There was one letter, just one, that I didn't send to you. That was 3 months ago. It was the first letter in which Mina begged you for help. She said she wanted to run away and asked you to come and save her as soon as possible, to rescue her and the baby." That was the letter Alex threw away. Posing as Kime, he wrote a 2-word answer. "Be strong." The day after she read the letter from Alex, Mina hanged herself in the barn. Wait a second. He could have been saying "be strong." I mean, in theory, it would be like "be strong, I'll be coming soon," but yeah. And the story is still going. This is the other thing. I can't time these fucking videos.
Because, like, 15 minutes in, I come across a 25-minute story. Kime stood rooted in the spot, crestfallen. This left him momentarily defenseless. And the other thing is, because I'm criticizing the stories as they go, I'm bashing Kime for not taking any responsibility for his part in this, and now it's turning out to be the whole point of the story. Alex shot his fist at Kime's solar plexus, though his feeble blow could hardly be called a punch. What a pussy. The pain it inflicted might have been greater for Alex's own fist than for Kime's superbly conditioned muscles. Kime's body was sculpted from bronze. What an idiot what an idiot I was. Be strong. Such words might have meant something to somebody like you, but to burden a weak person like Myrna with them, I mean, mine, no, they could only break and crush her. And that same picture in the background just keeps changing color. Alex gave another tearful, self-disparaging smile and thrust his face towards Kime. So hit me. I don't give a damn. Hit me all you want. Beat the hell out of me. But let me ask you this, Kime. Do any of us care about the baby? Because we haven't mentioned it in a while. If I had sent her last letter to you, would you have finally answered that one? Would you have been able to accept Mina and all her weakness? Kime did not know how to answer this question, nor did he raise a clenched fist to Alex again. He just wandered off and acted like none of this is his problem. The end. So ended the story of Kime and Alex. Alex turned and walked away, but Kime could not bring himself to call out to him. He simply stood there, drained of all emotion, and watched him go. That was the day Kime's soul died. The end. Alex did, however, turn to face Kime again when he had put enough distance between them so that Kime could barely make out his voice. I can tell you this much, Kime, he shouted. I'm going to raise that boy of mine. I'll make him into a man of my village. I may have been too weak to be a husband, but as a father, I'll do better. I'll make him happy. The fact that everyone keeps calling him whatever his name is, it starts with an N. Like, wait, why would we believe this? Kime returned his words with a silent nod. Alex allowed the end of a smile to show on his badly swollen face. He then turned on his heels once more and strode away, ready to invent some story about how he'd been brutally beaten when he got back to his family. Kime never saw Alex again. However, later on, he did hear tale of a weak guy and his interracial son being murdered by the townspeople. Every now and then, Kime remembers Alex and Mina as he proceeds on his endlessly long journey. When he thinks back on what he himself was like in those days, wanting only to be strong in all things, his memory is a bitter one. If only he had been the person he is today, emotionally stunted and lacking in all memory. The present-day Kime would not have rejected such human weakness. Now he can accept the fact, sometimes with a pained smile, sometimes with genuine heartbreak, that everyone is weak. What evidence have we seen of that? If only begin his journey again, hit the reset button, Mina might not have had to die. But this is no more than a hopeless dream. He meets them only once, and they are gone forever. The mortals, the humans, the piss ants, the ones without eternal life, the losers, the jabronis. This is what makes them all the more dear to him. This is what makes his breast burst for them. His breast, which knows the full bloom of womanhood. Aware that he has failed to love human weakness throughout his battles and his wanderings, Kime turns his step towards Alex's old village. Alex himself, of course, is long since dead. But Alex's descendants, he can tell at a glance. They all have brown skin. Brown-skinned youths are the ones in charge of the village festivals. Brown-skinned old women teach girls how to weave floral decorations. Brown-skinned children and those who are not brown play together in all innocence free of care. Although the non-brown children are now second-class citizens because the brown children have risen up and taken over the village. Perhaps this can comprise a tiny epilogue to the story of Alex and Mina. The graves of Alex and Mina lay side by side atop a low, windswept hill. Kime picks flowers in the field and offers them at the doomed couple's graves before returning to the road. However, local ordinances say that picking flowers is punished by death, and of course the local laws are enforced without question. What is human strength, after all? Kime still does not know the answer to this question, and that is why, again, his journey must go on. But this video doesn't have to go on. Alright, folks. When we come back next time, it is my fondest hope we will not have another memory. Thanks for watching.